I wish we had the broke dick audio too. We may be able to find it before things go awry. King of Paul, unmute yourself, sir.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, brother? Yeah, he's so full of shit, dude. He was full of shit. He had balls to say half the shit he said. Like in April, I don't know when. I'm trying to find the exact date right now, but I don't have a lot of time. So,
Sure.
but somewhere April 12th and April 30th of 2018, he was in my fucking thread defending Vider Viking, who was repeatedly on video talking about how in Norway they banned dolls, and that pissed him off. And that lolicon and Joticon is all just drawings, and child sex dolls are plastic. And he hopped in my thread in that time period to defend Vider because he didn't like me, obviously. And he was saying that it was just plastic, and that they should be allowed to do these things, and that if they don't actually harm kids, they should get help. And Joticon and lolicon completely fine and valid, and it's just drawings.
Not to interrupt you, but just real quick, that was his position until all of a sudden he changed positions. 180.
No. He changed position. Okay, so he changed positions specifically when you started dating
yes.
your ex.
That's true. That's exactly
when everything
true.
went out the
That's
window.
Exactly true. You're totally right. Yes, go ahead.
And that's when it changed. I pointed it out immediately, and I was like, "You're full of shit." And he only did that because he was mad at you. I mean, everything this guy does is like some weird mental disorder of oppositional defiance disorder where he has to like do other shit. He completely makes shit up. He flagged his own shit down, by the way, back in the Stream.me days and blamed it on other people and said that they did it. But he just flagged it all down because of this kind of shit right here. Because back in Stream.me days, he would run his fucking mouth and say crazy shit like this. Crazy shit all the time.
And you're exactly right. And again, I don't think I'm still married to this person, unbelievably so. And I don't think she's a pedophile. I never did. Did she advocate for lolicon, all that stuff? Stuff that I actually told her on air before we got together that I'm totally against. Yeah, she did. Was there ever any lolicon in my sight, or like was she viewing it around me? No. And so like, I don't know if she was just being edgy or whatever. Do I think she's a pedophile? No. But what I'm saying is, and I could easily say yes, right, if I was trying to harm her. But what I'm saying is he changed his whole position on lolicon, Shotokan, everything else just based on me and Pantsu.
Well, there was a couple factors for Ralph. So you have to think about that time frame too. In 2018 to 2020, he changed his demeanor for two factors. One was a portion was you, but the other portion was is what was going on between 2018 and 2020 with the Kiwi Farms. He was getting into this tranny war. He was getting old head users who wanted to delete their accounts because he was caught lying, saying that he didn't save people's information, IPs, and all that bullshit. He absolutely did. It got hacked in 2017, then again in 2019, and he was giving over information to who? Federal agents. He gave it to the German government, he gave it to the New Zealand government, and the Australian government, and the United States government twice, and allegedly the Chinese government. So there was like 5 or 6 different instances that this happened. And I'm not making this shit up.
No,
anyone can go to the Onion Farms and go to his Onion Farms thread where they have archived every single piece of this shit down to the bottom dollar that this guy, I mean, somebody back in like 2020 had found out about flow chemicals before even the tranny took him to court, before they even went through this. They found all the way down that he was working with some Chinese guy to literally money launder, clean money between that company to another company in like the Philippines that went back to his wallet because he couldn't get a bank account. He's the same fucking retard that's on the match list that got Dick Masterson shit completely fucking wrecked during the I can't remember the name of the website he was doing.
New Project 2.
New Project 2 or whatever. And then he just recently got it again when he tried to run a scam pretending that he was like some archive foundation NGO. And they fucking got him again because he's on the match list, and he lied to his new users, pretending that they don't know, saying, we don't know what happened.
It was like the Internet Archive Foundation or some shit, right?
Wait, hold on,
he's
Brian,
full
of shit on everything.
Wait, Brian, it was like the Internet Archive Foundation or whatever the fuck he called it, and I was like,
some NGO bullshit. Which, by the way, I told Persip on his show, I said, that already exists. They have been fighting for years with EA, Activision, Blizzard, all these Microsoft, all these companies, because they've been trying to archive like games that are vaporware that you can't even get anymore, and they're literally saying you can't archive our games, they're our fucking IPs, and that's like a whole thing that's going on. You can look up that actual archiving foundation. So he blatantly stole the shit and lied and tried to steal more money. He's like beyond fucked as a person, and I don't know what kind of human being he could be. There's a post a long time ago when he was 30 years old or 29 years old. He wrote on his website, and some people might remember this, where he talked about how he wanted to have wife and kids, but he didn't know how to function with children and kids. And so he bought plants. And said if he could raise these plants, then he could have a wife and kids.
You know
and he did streams where he'd show the bell peppers and shit.
You know what's funny about that is they say that that's the reason that I had kids. Was because of that post.
Well, that's just,
which is stupid.
Yeah, the spite thing. Yeah. I know.
Like, I just want to prove I can have kids.
Are all fucking crazy trannies and furries.
Yes.
And
well, we'll get to furry dry bones here in a moment. We haven't just yet, but that's his like number 2 basically at Kiwi Farms, and dry bones going way back to Gamergate.
I do know dry bones, but that's not even the thing. The other argument that Josh made, and I saw the dry bones thing today, and I laughed because people were saying, well, Ralph, you had Gator, and he's like a VTuber, and you had Flamenco, and it's like, I didn't really know. Ralph doesn't. Yeah, Ralph didn't have like a background check done on Gator or Flamenco and all these other people. Josh absolutely runs a background check on every person he associates with. He's paranoid as fuck. He needs to know everything about their personal life and stalk them for a bit to make sure that he can even talk to them about the shit he wants to talk to, because half the shit he talks about is illegal. It's illegal shit. That's what Josh talks about. 90%, half of his shit, at least, is illegal behind closed doors.
Well, dude, I've had Josh... I didn't have him on the air, but he went on one of his Maddie shows and started talking about, like... And again, this is not me saying this, but like killing government officials and getting the guns out and start doing shit like this. Like
I know
if I would, you know what I'm talking about. You probably heard about it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. There's a post, and I'm gonna just keep saying this shit because you could look it up.
If I would have said that, they put me in jail. Why is this motherfucker not in jail? Anyway, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry about that. Well, there was a post in 2017 I wrote to him, and he released it like as if it was an own on me, where I suggested to him that the way he ran his website was dangerous and was going to cause him long-term problems because he was allowing his himself and his moderators to write publicly their personal opinions in such a degree that it was like kill federal agents, like saying crazy off the wall shit. And I was like, you should, and like publishing like letters from lawyers, from law firms, from government officials that he would get. And writing crazy shit like, I'll kill yourself, fucking hang yourself, I'll fucking shoot you in the head if I ever see you. Like all this crazy nonsensical shit that you would write. And I was like, maybe you should just let your users be anonymous. Like you're fucking crazy. And you write all this stupid shit that gets your ass in trouble. And he was like, oh, you're a retard. I'm like, okay, well, look where he's at now.
Let me ask you a question.
Look at how he sits now.
And you come from the image board culture. I don't. Like I fell into it because of Gamergate, right? And so,
I knew about Josh before he changed.
Of course,
Josh tried to apply.
You knew. But what I'm asking is, you just raised a very important point. Okay, so knowing image board culture, why do you require these people to log in with accounts and emails and IPs and all this stuff? Where like and again, I'm not an expert because that's not my, that's not where I came from. I came from Normieville, nigga. Like that's where I came from. But like, okay, so you have to log into an account. You have to put in an email. Your IPs are logged. He's given them over to multiple governments. If he was really like a believer in the image board culture, and I say the same thing about Jim. Jim's a name fag. Like that's totally looked down upon. Supposed to be in image board culture. Am I wrong about that? Or right?
No, it's not. You're absolutely correct. So I've been around, unfortunately, since it first started. So I'm an image board guy. I knew Josh.
That's why I asked.
Josh would name fag. Josh, I didn't even know it was him until his username got published. That I banned Zex. So he used to name fag like back in the day when Moot ran it from like 2006 to 2010. And he would write. He was applying to try to be a moderator and a janitor and stuff. And he didn't get the job. He only worked for Frederick because he was angry. I mean, he literally wrote a whole post about it. He was like pissed off at Moot and said he would prove him wrong. And that was what strived him to go do with Infinity Next. And then he started making Infinity Next. And then at the same time he was doing that, I don't give a fuck what Frederick says. I literally I had a whole interview with what's his face that owns 8chan now. His dad owns it. I can't remember his fucking name. The guy
not Watkins, but Ron. I think it's Ron, right?
Jim Watkins. Yeah, Jim Watkins. The guy said he was going to see Josh was big.
But Ron, I think so
Josh's whole bullshit. I did a whole interview with him. I released 3 minutes or like a minute and 30 seconds on my old Twitter account and tagged Josh saying, "Get ready for the next case file" when I was doing my video. And Jim Watkins openly told me that, like, what it looked like to him was that Josh was buttering up Frederick in the Philippines, and he was intentionally sabotaging the website with Infinity Next. And there's proof of this through the IRC's channels when he was openly pushing programs or whatever he was doing, updates, without Frederick knowing about it, breaking the site. At one point, they had to go back and rebuild the whole fucking site because Josh broke it 3 times while demanding more money, not providing any product. And he stole $12,000 fucking dollars, and he went, and that's when he bought CWC Wiki, and it turned into the Kiwi Farms.
Yes.
Look that shit up. Look it up. I'm not making that up. I was a moderator for Jews on the Cal board. Ralph was on 8chan, and he was a moderator at one point. I mean, we all fucking talked on the IRCs. You remember Burgers and Fries, Ralph?
Dude, this
was a thing that
we were all in on that. Now, but what I'll
1,000% happened.
What I'll
He's
say
a fucking
is,
liar.
Like, I knew. Wait. I just want to say this. Like, I knew nothing about like the prehistory before 2014. Like, and when 2014 happened, it was Gamergate, and it's like, okay, I gotta get involved. Like, I'm trying to be a player in this, and so I don't have the reverence for 4chan and the image boards that some people have.
My whole stream started because Moot banned us in the V in the poll board and on V, and Lily put a fucking sticky note at the top saying you're not allowed to talk about Gamergate. And I fired up a stream, and I couldn't find a place to do it where that would allow it because YouTube wouldn't at that time, and and Twitch TV took it down. So that's when I found Hitbox.tv, and I got it published on 8chan. That's how that started. But Josh is just he's a complete liar. The fabrication of him saying he was going to take me to court, which that never happened. He filed a crazy cease and desist letter at the same time that I had a lawsuit possibly going forward with BritBong over a fucking video that he failed to file correctly at the Isle of Man. That I had my lawyer look at, and he was like, "This is fucking crazy."
I used to have a Manx cat, and they're from the Isle of Man. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
He wrote this crazy cease and desist letter, and he blamed it on saying that I was hacking a site by making sock accounts, which total was 5 accounts, which you found 2 of them, Ralph. There was 5 accounts. They claimed it was 14. I'll get to that in a minute. But Josh found this to be.
I will say, me and you, frenemies, it's fair to say, right? We've had fallings out, but like we also have like the history as well. And so I saw you posting on there, and I could tell it was you. And then I clicked on your name.
Yeah, that's all old shit. I mean, it's just shit where I was defending myself like a retard. I don't even care about that stuff.
It's nothing now, but like I just did it to fuck with you, honestly. And I was like,
I know. I don't. That's water under the bridge. It's so old, and I don't care. The original times that I did it, I defended myself, and I don't care. I mean, it's defending myself because I was wrong what they were doing to me, and I don't give a fuck about it anymore. But the other times, I was just making fun of Josh on his site. I didn't care. And then after that, it became this weird game where Josh allowed his moderators and his fans to try to get me to come back to the site by making sock accounts, showing up in my thread, and literally just reposting my docs and arguing with people for no reason, with no proof. They'd say that's another Brian sock with no evidence. They did it over and over again. It pissed me off to try to get me to come back to his gay fucking site. But I couldn't come back unless I came back on my original account. Josh set it up, and he will prove that he'll tell you that I can only log in on my account because he had me IP locked or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
And you know this, Ralph. You know it. You know this because Josh would openly sit there and say he's got me on site, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So he lied about that. But the lawsuit thing he filed wasn't, or he didn't even file a lawsuit. The cease and desist letter he filed wasn't about his fucking website or me trying to hack his website, which never happened. That's just a complete lie. But it was because I posted at him a 30-second audio clip of me talking about him to Jim Watkins in an interview where I was doing a case file called Infinity Next, the scam that broke 8chan. That was I still have the original title in the first 20 minutes of that fucking video that I never uploaded because Josh threatened to fucking take me to court and all this crazy shit. And he wanted to try to bring me to federal court for a $5,000 in damages that he claimed that I stole off his website, which again was not true. But he lied, and he tried to threaten me and my whole family to do so. And I was not in a position to deal with all that, with everything going on in 2019. This guy is a fucking crook. He's a liar. He lies about everyone. He propagates on trying to destroy people's lives and break them. Everyone's allowed to have a fall and have mistakes, have skeletons in their closet. And if they come out, it's embarrassing. It's whatever. But you're allowed to get up and try again and try to be a better person. But Joshua Connor Moon does not allow people to do that. And his gay fucking website is made by leftist cancel culture faggots that just want to cancel people and propagate that and think that they are arbiters of what is good and what is not. And it's gay. It's fucking gay. It's always been gay. It's Reddit on steroids, and you can't tell me differently. You can't. Even when I was a user of it and tried to make proper threads and stuff, it was nothing but ass pats and needing to upvote each other. Tell me I'm wrong, Ralph.
I'm not. You ain't told a lie this whole entire time. Matter of fact, you dropped some knowledge that I didn't even know. And that's because you have a longer history. You know what I mean? Like I said, you go back further with this stuff. And
at what point? Let me ask you this, Ralph. Why would Josh hate me as much as he does? As if I like more so than anyone else. When other people have done so much worse to him, Liz Von Jones, all this stuff, he hates me more than them. Tell me why? It's because I fucking interviewed Jim Watkins. Because I talked to Frederick Brennan. Because I talked to these people that were working with him. Because I talked to people that were fucking going around where he was trying to find ways to money launder his money. Because I was on the ground trying to fucking get this guy nailed to a wall. And he was hiding out in fucking third world shitholes. Living out of a fucking briefcase, which is kind of cute considering he tried to make fun of you saying you're in Mexico when this faggot spent half a decade running around trying to hide in Ukraine and fucking Serbia and all these fucking third world countries. Africa at one point, which, by the way, the country in Africa he wanted to buy land in, the age of consent was 11 years old. Take that for what you will. But you get my point. I mean, he just sucks shit, and he's a hypocrite, and he's fat as fuck. Pizza day all day long.
Agree 100%. He tried to call me fat. I'm like, nigga, I'm thinner than you. Like, look at me. Like, what the fuck? He won't even show his face. And so, like, I don't know. He's a scumbag, and he just constantly changes his story. Like, you listen to this audio right here, and it's diametrically opposed to what he told me last night. He said, he said, I was just following Frederick Brennan's orders. And in this clip, he says, I made the rules. I'm the one who set it up, right? And
Fred. Fred. Get him on the stream and ask him these questions, because I promise you, and Fred's like a weird lefty furry now, like a commie guy, but I doubt he'll sit there and go, no, it was all my idea. I totally wanted pornography or pedophilia on my 8chan board. That never happened. Not what he's talking about. There was a couple. You can make whatever board you want. I know you remember this, Ralph, because people made the game. Yeah, you can make stuff, right? Yeah. And what happened was, and this is a fact, and you know who can prove this?
Oh, Predator. I would assume. Also, I think KingofPol had to mute himself there for a sec, but you know, it's like you listen to the audio that we just played, and it's totally different than what he told me last night. No, fine.
So,
yeah.
If you sat down, and this is a fact too, another issue that I have with this whole thing is, and Josh knows this, and people who are on around 8chan knows this, there were many people that could make any board they wanted to, but they were curated to shit. And you want to know how I know that? We can talk about someone that you and I both know, Andy fucking Worski and Tonkasaw. They came to me on Twitter and asked me to help them get shit down that had their IDs. That was when Worski's sister got doxxed. That's when Tonka and Failure and Vamp Candy, all their shit. Yeah. And I literally just told Jim Watkins, hey, there's a board that has these fucking driver's license and shit, and it was pulled down within seconds of it existing. The guy freaked out with an IRC, and he started spamming everybody. I can't remember his fucking name. Spamming everybody. He was so angry, and he tried to post it in the Gamergate boards. He tried to post it all over the place, and the guy got permabanned within, like, hours. That shit was gone. It was already too late. Like, it was up, right, Ralph?
Yeah,
but it didn't matter because it got pulled immediately. So that's another thing that Josh is lying about. Frederick didn't allow pedophilia on 8chan. Pedophilia was not okay to allow. But Josh allowed it on 16chan. Completely.
Because he was a free speech advocate, right?
Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I was a part of, listen, Ralph, I was a part of the Libertarian Party of Florida for 3 years, and you see all these kind of ANCAP and weirdos at the conventions all the time, and down in Clearwater and down in Daytona when we did our meetings and shit, and you always had those retards that said the dumbest shit, and no one in the fucking room ever acknowledged them. Not even libertarians come up with these stupid-ass arguments that they like. It's just fucking stupid. And nobody believes it when they come in the door. They say, get the fuck out. They're not even welcome. Because we know what you want, bro. You know what I mean? Like, why are you going to advocate for that unless you know what you're looking for? It's fucking sick. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting, and he allowed it, and, you know, he's a liar. I don't know what else to say. Like, I just...
Look, man, you fix your shit up. Go with God, practice the celibacy, do what you need to do. That guy's like a devil, bro. And like, he's nothing more than a fucking Satanist at best. There's nothing good about Josh. He provides nothing of value to the world that is beneficial. He's done nothing very well for anybody
at
except
best.
for himself.
That might be one of the all-time Killstream quotes. Actually, he's a Satanist at best.
All right, well, tell me what benefit is Josh given besides causing harm to everyone else? Okay, what, his website like exposed a couple sick, fucked up people? Yeah, his website did because they had an outlet to talk about it. That's a good thing, right? That's the outliers, right? But Josh had nothing to do with any of those. But he'll take credit for all of it as if he created it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and he created lolcows and all this. He didn't do any of that, and so it's just a fake story. And people are scared of Kiwi Farms and crossing him because they'll try to ruin your life. I mean,
it's an ego. They know what he'll do.
They know
it's this ego he has.
Yes, and I don't give a fuck because they've done that
retard.
To me.
You know what he did, right? You know that they still have a Supreme Court thing going on, right? That he tried to involve himself in. You know about that, right? He's trying to fuck up the internet for everybody. He admits that he doesn't give a fuck because no one gave a fuck about him. That was his argument for what he did. So when he took that money and he said he was going to use it against Richard Greer, the $150,000, whatever it was, okay, he used $100,000 to file this fucking crazy thing in the Supreme Court docket that may or may not, it's going to get looked at, but may or may not be picked up. I hope to God it doesn't. But essentially what he was asking for was that they remove any right for a person to sue. Okay, how do I describe this? Let's say Ralph, you were upset because you were defamed by Josh on Kiwi Farms, right?
I have been, yeah.
I know you have been. Me and you both. But let's just say for this argument, that's what it was. What Josh asked the Supreme Court to look at and make a ruling on is to make it to where that person has to sue the U.S. government first to get them to side with the victim. Then the victim gets representation from the U.S. government, and then they can go after the person that libeled them.
Which is
or slander them or defame them. And he wanted to make defamation a criminal. I guess it's like a civil matter, but he wanted to make it like a federal crime, so that and then he wanted to make it extra layers so that it became watched over by the states rather than anything else. So basically, Ralph, if I'm like a little guy and I'm broke and I'm like Richard Greer or whatever, and Josh publishing my book per se, I would have to sue the United States government to allow me to sue Josh for stealing my shit and publishing it. And I have to beat the United States government with their fucking money, their DA office, and all this crazy shit. And then it had to go through the Supreme Court before it can even get there. This was what he wanted. He wanted the Supreme Court to weigh on, to change the rules of Section 230 to be like this so that it would make it less of a headache for him to have to deal with so many litigations that come to his doorstep for libel and defamation. And he told everyone to get fucked. He filed $100,000 of people's money that didn't even ask for this to do that, to fuck up the whole internet. Because this would cause problems for everyone, like Twitter. Anything you tweet, Ralph, you're fucked. You're fucked. The guy wants to get angry at you and sue you for something. Now you have to sue the government before you can even touch them. The fuck is that?
And for people who don't know, the government has like a 99.1% win rate in court.
And that's what Josh brought up on his. There's a Maddie of this. Josh brought it up on his fucking stream, and he said the same thing you just said. Like, the government never loses, almost ever. So this will make my headaches go away, and I won't have to deal with Richard Greer and Melinda Scott filing pro se lawsuits back to back to back. Because I'm tired of seeing him in court, and this is what I want. So I use my money to have the Supreme Court look at my shit on the docket and read it so I can try to attempt to get them to make this a law. And it's like, are you fucking crazy? You're going to fuck up the whole internet, and which you're supposed to be a free speech advocate, and you want them to hyper-censor it and have the government supersede what everyone says online like a psychopath? Like, are you fucking, I just don't, this guy is such a fucking piece of shit, bro. It's crazy how much he's fucked up the internet over the course of years.
And he's not done yet. And people who think that he's doing something great for free speech don't understand. As soon as they get tired of him, the government, I halfway think he works for them. I mentioned that earlier. But as soon as they get tired of him, they're going to use him as example A of why we need to crack down on everything. And people who don't see that, they don't see the pendulum swinging back. are stupid, to be quite honest with you. And so people who think he's like, this free speech warrior, they're stupid. And as soon as they get tired of him,
I'm sick of this idea that that if you have a Kiwi Farms thread, you're not allowed to, you have to always relive your mistakes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago because some fucking retarded tranny wrote some dumb shit about you that's probably not even fucking true or accurate. They don't even fucking know you. And you have to hear this from people. I know you understand this, Ralph.
Yes.
You lose representation and agency of yourself to represent yourself accurately because some fucking dickwad is going to yell at you about some shit that they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about and weren't even there when it fucking happened. And they don't, and no one can say anything other than, well, it's on this fucking spot on this shitty website that nobody should give a fuck about. And it's frustrating to sit there and be like, okay, I made a mistake, or, some things got out of hand. I'm much more mature now. I've grown up and I've got my life going on. But then 5-6 years later, you've got some psycho retard trying to swat you or something because he read some stupid shit that bothered him about Gamergate. And you're just like, really, bro? Are we really doing this? And Josh is not at fault at all. His website's not at fault at all. It's just there, bro.
Yeah,
it's just like, fuck off, man. I'm so sick of that shit. It's like people are allowed to make mistakes and they're allowed to try to get up and work on those and be a better person than the last time. Sure, documentation, archiving, I'm all for it. It all makes sense. But when you're just doing it just to be an asshole, when you're just archiving shit to hold someone accountable for something that was maybe slightly embarrassing or something you just didn't like and you're holding it for 10, 20, 30 years like not even prisoners in jail have to deal with stupid shit like that. It's just retarded, bro. Just retarded.
You're not wrong.
All right?
You're not wrong.
It's fucking ridiculous. When is the crime up? When is the arbitrary crime that hurt nobody up? It's so stupid. And Josh has openly wrote himself that he couldn't run his website if he had a threat on himself there because he knows. He knows that they would mark everything about him. They make fun of every little fucking post. They dissect everything he says. And people who are aware of this know that he will ban you for even just looking at him the wrong way. And they'll go over to Onion Farms and they'll go and shit talk him because they know that Josh is a sensitive little bitch who can't take half not even a single iota of what he can dish out or his fucking website does for him. It's pathetic. He's just pathetic. He's an insect. Honestly, Ralph, your best bet on ever proving that faggot wrong is getting sober, getting healthy, staying on the course, brother, going with God, and just prove that faggot out of sheer, just spite of wanting to be a better person than him than anything else, bro. And I promise you, success breaks people. It fucking breaks them. And just keep trucking, dude. Fuck that guy. We've had our shit, Ralph, but I have no quarrels with you. We've been down this road, but you're more human than that motherfucker ever will be. Guy's like a fucking robot. You see the shit he writes about his own fucking mom? My dad did horrible shit, right, Ralph? Yes. And he still tells me he loves me. That faggot, mom wanted to abort him and told him to his face. That says everything you need to know. Everything you need to know about what kind of human being he is. If you'd even call him. I
agree. And you and I have been through the wars. Most of it petty shit, honestly. It's been
a lot of dumb shit.
It's
bro.
Like a lot of dumb shit.
We ran around the mud, but we're veterans. We're all OGs now. It's old shit. And this retard can't let it go. He can never let the shit go.
He won't let it go.
He's too busy churning out and talking about how much he loves tranny cock on his fucking gay streams.
I have a conviction in my mind, and Cleo's trying to get up here. Don't do that, Cleo. That he is going to end up in federal prison. Now, I could be wrong, but once they get tired of him, it's almost certain to happen. And so I hope it does happen, honestly, because he's a piece of trash, and I had the call last night. He thought he was going to dominate me, and actually I dominated him. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, he didn't even, that was just brutal. I mean, he didn't know what to do. He was asking stupid questions like, Ralph, where are you going to be in 5 years? Who gives a fuck right now is what we're talking about, you stupid retard. He could be successful. He could be in the gutter. I could be successful or be in the gutter in 5 years from now, Josh. That's a stupid, no one's going to argue with you on stupid shit like that. He acts like he was trying to give you life advice, and it's like, bitch, you lived out of a briefcase in third world shitholes hiding from the government for over a decade. You were crying about how you could never get a real job again for over 20, I don't know how long now.
And he cried about now? Jim Watkins. He was scared of Jim Watkins killing him and feeding him to his pigs. That's literally.
I asked Jim about that. I said, Jim, what was the story with the pigs? And he was so angry at Josh because Josh had stolen $12,000. He said if he could ever get a hold of him, he'd throw him in a fucking pig pen in Japan and feed him to the fucking pigs because that's what he deserves. Because he openly said, I saw it for what it is. I'm going to quote him. I saw it for what it is. Josh was using Frederick to steal everything I worked hard on and everything we earned and everything I paid for. And I wanted to throw him, quote unquote, into the pen with the pigs and let him have at him. I'll never forget those fucking words. And that was just the guy who bought it, was trying to figure out a way to make this shit work and make it into a business venture. And Josh was over here fucking over here buttering up Frederick, gaslighting him, and then fucking up the whole website the whole time and stealing $12,000.
Infinity Next.
What a good guy.
The old heads.
What a good guy. Yeah, Infinity Next. Where did it go? It went to 16chan out of spite, where he hosted child pornography. What a good guy. Great guy.
Great guy, Josh Moon. Any final thoughts here? Where do you think this is headed at the end?
That's a good question. Hold on. I got something for you for that. Give me 2 seconds.
All right. Because that's what I think about. Like, where is this fucker headed? He talks about me in 5 years. I know, unless I die, I got 2 kids. It's complicated for sure. But what does he have besides, a furry right-hand man? And
this is fine. If you don't mind me, I want to read something real quick, and then I'm going to end it on that note.
Go ahead.
You have a good one. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. But those who suffer, he delivers in their suffering. He speaks to them in their affliction. He is wooing you from the jaws of distress to a spacious place free from restriction, to the comfort of your table, laden with choice food. But now you are laden with the judgment due to the wicked. Judgment and justice have been taken hold of you. Be careful that no one entices you by riches. Do not let a large bribe turn you aside. Would your wealth or even all your mighty efforts sustain you so you would not be in distress? Do not long for the night to drag people away from their homes. Beware of turning to evil, Josh, which you seem to prefer to affliction. God is exalted in his power. Who is a teacher like him? Job asks. Who has prescribed his ways for him? And he said to him, you have done wrong? Fuck you, Josh. Job 36:15-23. Suck a dick. Have a good one, Ralph. Glad you're healthy. Grab your safe. Stay on the path, brother.
You too, brother. Have a good one. KingofPol live on the Killstream.
Thank you for watching this clip. This is Perspicacity. Remember to like and subscribe.